what's up, North Shore? We are in the middle of Hurricane Herman. The wind is blowing. We're having fun, though. We're at the Blind Tiger right here in Madisonville, so come check it out if you haven't. Best margaritas. We're halfway through this, so we're about to order another round. But before we do, we are going to answer your mortgage questions. So welcome to another edition of Monday Morning. Shit.
You almost
Finally got it. Monday Morning Mortgage Minute. Me and Brian are out here answering your mortgage questions. And one of my friends was asking, what is the lowest credit score that you can accept for a loan? And he's in the mid 600s, and he was like, oh, I have too low of a credit score.
Right.
I said, actually, you don't.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about mortgage scores.
Yeah.
Like, so between pretty much 580 is the cap. 580 and below, you're not going to really get approved. You can work on it, and they can help you figure out the ways to work on it. But tell me about above 580, what's the steps that we have to take?
So there are officially, like on an FHA loan, with 10% down, they'll go below a 580 to a 500. Our company doesn't, and most companies don't. 580 is about the cap because when you get below that, there's probably something more recent that needs to be worked on. A customer needs to overcome whatever it is in their life that has caused that to happen, and they need a little bit of time to get that score up and improve things before they buy a house. 580 credit score on the government insured loans, so rural development loans to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, FHA loans, and VA loans, the minimum credit score is a 580. That doesn't mean that every 580 is going to be approved, because they're going to look at the score to make sure it meets the minimum requirement. But then they're also going to look at the content of the credit. What they're looking at is, what happened in this customer's life? Have they recovered? And the have they recovered piece is a huge part of it. So normally they're looking for reestablished credit that's been established for 12 months and looking for that derogatory credit, whether it's charge-offs, collections, or late payments. They're looking for that to be outside of a 12-month period of time, preferably outside of 24 months. Okay. And then there's some restrictions as far as debt to income ratio and stuff like that that they look at also, depending on what program it is. And so but you get to 620 plus, then you're in the realm where officially Fannie Mae says for a conventional loan 620 credit score is the minimum. You're probably not going to go conventional if you're in the mid 600s, low 600s, just because of the pricing adjustments that they have in place, where a government loan's much more forgiving when it comes to pricing due to credit score. And so, but a 580 credit score, we get them done if it makes sense, because things happen in people's lives. Absolutely. Where you can see on their credit report.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Go ahead.
So let me just tell you one thing, y'all. It is never too early to start applying for a loan for a house. So if you think you're going to apply, let's say right now is October of 2019. If you're trying to buy a house in 2020, call us now, because here's what Brian and I can do is, we can pull your credit report and say, look, these are the steps you need to take to get there to buy a house, $250,000, $300,000 house, whatever, by 2020. So people want to start the process a month before they're ready. Don't do that, because let's say you have a 600 credit score and we find a couple things you can fix between now and then. We can get you up to 620, 640 even by fixing a couple little things. Do not go to a credit repair specialist. That is not going to help you. Mortgage companies look at your credit scores differently, so you can attest to that. I mean, if I go to a credit repair specialist and I bump my score up, it might not actually help me, will it?
Well, it just depends, because a lot of those credit companies, some of them are better than others. But a lot of times what they do is they just dispute everything. And when you go and apply for a mortgage, and this is actually an important piece that a lot of people don't think of, when you go to apply for a mortgage, when they dispute something, it impacts your credit score positively. Because now they're researching it. It may not have an impact on the credit score anymore as a derogatory item. The mortgage industry has caught on to that, so they don't want inflated credit scores that don't reflect the true credit. So they say you need to go and remove those disputes. So if I'm in the middle of credit repair with a bunch of disputed stuff and I've got a 640 score, you go and remove those disputes and it drops you down to a 560, well, you're in trouble. And so it's always a good idea as early as possible. And some people get nervous because maybe they had something happen they're embarrassed of, or whatever it may be. They get nervous to go and make that application, but we see it all. We don't care. We don't judge. Life is life. I mean, it happens to people. And so
it happened to me, actually, when I was applying for my loan. I was kind of embarrassed because I have some of my credit score. They said, look, let me tell you how to fix that. So Brian and them, they can do that. They can tell you how to fix it. And then by the time you're ready to apply that loan, let's say it takes a month or two to fix it and get all that stuff off, you're crystal clear, you're good to go. and you're in a better price bracket. So, you know, I was able to boost my score up so much
Interest
that
rate.
my interest rate was a lot lower.
Absolutely.
And so it's just a simple phone call, and look, they've seen everything. It's no judgment zone.
Yep.
Here, no judgment. I feel my hair's coming up. The hurricane's getting it. But anyway, we're not going to judge you guys. If you don't judge me on my hair, then we're not going to judge you on your loan. And what I'm going to tell you is, you can get that score up, you know, a little bit higher, just even let's say 10 or 20 points, you're going to be able to get a much better rate over time, right?
Yep. And that can impact your buying power. A lower rate may give you, more payment that you can qualify for a better house or whatever it may be. There's a lot of impacts, but the key is apply early if you think you've got a situation where you need to work on something.
Exactly.
Know where you stand, know what reality is. Let us get to work on a plan on getting you guys where you need to be.
Before you go to a credit repair specialist, call Bryan, call Daniel, because we want to pause, hold up on that, because they'll do it for free. He'll pull it up and say, look, we're going to find out. I don't get paid on this, or he doesn't get paid until you close on a loan. I don't get any bonus points for using Bryan. I just know he's a really great loan officer, and so we're not making any money off of this, guys, until you close. So it's to our benefit to get you to close on this loan, right? So we're going to help you work and get to that point where you need to be. And I'll tell you one other thing is, after about 740, 750, right? You're in the preferred zone, AAA rating. You're good, right?
Yep. That's on a conventional loan, a 740 plus, you're going to be in the best pricing bracket. A 760 plus, if you don't have 20% down, the private mortgage insurance, you're going to be in the best bracket as far as credit score. When it comes to government loans, you want to be at 680 and above, and at that point, you'll take no pricing adjustment for your credit score.
Yeah, so a lot of people were like, oh, I'm trying to get my credit score up. I'm trying to make sure we're doing all this stuff. And I was like, look, if you try to get above 780, it doesn't really matter. You can be at 890. I don't even know how to go up that high, 850, whatever. And you're going to get the same rate as someone that has 780. So there's certain price brackets, places where you get those breaks between 640 and 780. Let's say you're at 653. If Bryan and I can get you up to 660 or 670, you're going to get a better rate. So it's definitely advantageous to give us a call before you start doing all kinds of stuff, and before you try to call these other credit repair specialists that may or may not help your score. They might boost it up, but it's artificially boosted, and it's not going to help because y'all look at some
We run into it all the time. Hey, my credit score is 640. We got to remove the disputes. And all of a sudden they're 580. And so pricing-wise, or maybe not even qualifying, that's the difference to know what your true score is without the disputes calculated into it.
Yeah. So if you are planning on buying a house in the next couple of months or even in 2020, give us a call today and let us help you out. We'll boost your credit score, get you into a house ASAP. We'll see y'all.